it's obviously very early in the season, but as of right now, you have a share of first place in the Western Conference. I mean, how does that feel, given where this team was last season, to be there?
You know, it's something at this point we're not really paying attention to. We're worried about what we're doing and how we can continue to get better. You'll start to see that stuff after the All-Star break and see what's going on. But right now, our main concern is improving. You know, I think for our guys to come in here on a back-to-back, you know, there's always those built-in excuses, and you know, for us to hold them to 14 points in the fourth quarter says a lot about our group of guys. You know, you could be tired, you could be, you know, worn out, no legs, you know, all that. But our guys stepped up and defended. I mean, that's special to see a group of guys coming together and bonding with one another over the defensive end of the floor. You know, everybody likes to score, get assists, get points, but guys that truly bond on the defensive end of the floor is special, and it's fun to be a part of.
What's not an example of what you want to see this offense accomplish in the last 6 minutes of the fourth? They really seem to do a good job of getting open looks.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the last 6 minutes of the game, fourth quarter, we play a ton through Mike and Mark. You know, we see what decisions the defense wants to make, and excuse me, and then we surround them with guys that can make plays. So if you want to leave one of those guys open, we trust those guys are going to be able to make a play. You know, whether it was Shelvin with the big three, you know, Kyle gets the steal and the finish, Garrett, you know, makes shots from the corner. So we're going to put pressure on people with that lineup, and you know, again, those two guys are our trigger, and teams have to make a decision. They play so well with one another. You know, thinking about that back door. You know, how many times have they seen that play? You know, but the two of those guys, just before it even happens, you know, they see and they already know. Ball moves, boom, boom. You know, Mike walks in for a layup. So you know, that's who we are. You know, again, we're getting better. We're working at it. We're not finished yet, but we're heading in the right direction.
JB, this has been the best, or one of the best, rebounding stretches of Mark's career. Did you guys talk to Mark? He's averaging a career high. It's been a point of emphasis for you guys this year.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked to all our guys about rebounding, how important it is to us, and you know, it's just him putting more on his shoulders because he knows it's what we need to do. And I mean, tonight he had 15 defensive rebounds, I think. Like, you know, against, you know, some big athletic guys in there. It wasn't like, you know, he was overpowering them with size. You know, that's grit. You know, that's toughness. You know, that's the desire to help this basketball team be as good as we possibly can. And taking that burden on over and over again, every possession, you know, was a fight. And you know, he's all in. It's fun to watch him.
JB, you guys, I think, held them scoreless for about a 4-minute stretch, went on that 10-0 run midway through the fourth quarter. What are the huddles like when you guys get into those moments? Because it seems like there's more and more confidence from these guys when they face that adversity late in games.
I mean, there's just conversation. You know, you can see guys are talking to one another, and they're just figuring things out. You know, you get some groups of guys who people feel like it's a blame game if you're talking to them, if you're critiquing them. These guys just get in a huddle and they're trying to figure it out. You know, it's an open conversation, an open dialogue of guys just trying to get the job done. You know, there's no, you know, no one has any ill intent. No one's harboring any, you know, bad feelings. It's, hey, you made a mistake here. This is how we correct that mistake. This is what they're doing. This is how we're gonna, you know, how we're gonna defend it. So when we get out on the court, there are no mistakes.
Coach, second game back with Jermichael. Can you kind of talk about what he adds back to the lineup?
I mean, a ferociousness. You know, a guy 15 minutes ends up with 12 points, 9 rebounds. You know, again, tough interior defender, the ability to space the floor, the ability to switch, you know, different coverages and pick and roll and guard different matchups. So he adds a versatility to our group. You know, and he's just, I mean, he's a competitor. You know, and it's whatever it is the team needs to do, he's going to go out there and just give it his all in order to help the team.
Coach, like you said, you played a lot through Mike and Mark, but it looked like Mike was trying to involve Jaren with them two tonight too. Was that a point of emphasis in practice?
Yeah, I mean, you know, just coming into the night and just looking at the way, you know, the matchups may go. But Jaren is a guy, you know, who you don't have to call a ton of plays for. He does such a good job of running early and that causes so many different mismatches. You know, now normally, you know, he outruns the big, and there's a small guy down in the paint with him. Now we get an opportunity to throw it to him early in the clock with no help, no positions to trap from, and he's 2 feet from the basket. You know, and he's got an offensive skill set that I think we're just beginning to see. You know, his ability to drive the ball from the perimeter. You know, slowly but surely he's gaining confidence, and I think you'll see, you know, there's going to come a point where, you know, he wows all of us.
It seemed like Dallas defended you a little bit differently at the beginning of the game than other teams had, with Jordan on Jackson and smaller forwards on Mark. How did that impact the touches and the rhythm early on? And do you think, given the way Gasol's been shooting, you're going to see more of that going forward?
You know, I think because of DeAndre Jordan being such a good rim protector, you know, they were using him to just help and load wherever Mark was on the floor. You know, we've got to make the adjustment now, finding that pocket. And you saw late in the game, they did that, and Jaren found the pocket, got the little short touch shot there. So, you know, again, through experience and learning, we'll find those areas, and then you make them pay, and then now teams got to make a decision. You know, you're going to keep giving that up, or, you know, you're going to move that guy back out, and now Mark gets the opportunity to go to work. You know, excuse me. You know, DeAndre, I think, is unique in his ability to protect the paint, and, you know, he's a very intelligent guy. You got to give him a ton of credit. You know, he can see multiple actions happen, and so I think this may be a unique situation. You know, obviously I can't tell you what everybody's going to do, but I think because of their personnel, I think it worked a little bit early for them.
JV Garrett gets 12 points on 3 shots, which is pretty unusual, but defensively, what does he provide stability-wise to the sets and the things that you want to do?
I mean, he shut his man down. You know, I think you look at what he did tonight to a guy who had been playing really, really well. You know, he took him out of rhythm. I don't know what he finished, but he was 3 for 12 at the half. And that a ton of that has to do with the way that Garrett was defending him. You know, he was into him. You know, he accepts those challenges. And you know, I know I keep saying this over and over again, but you know, the pleasure to coach a group of guys that genuinely want to do what's best in whatever it is that you ask them to do. They genuinely want to do it to help the team. And you know, that's another example of it. He doesn't. Garrett doesn't care if he doesn't shoot the ball. He doesn't care if he gets 1 shot. You say, hey, this is your defense's responsibility. We talked to him. We talked to Kyle about the way Doncic and Barnes have been playing. And then, you know, you go out there and see the effect that they had on the game on the defensive end of the floor. You know, it's like I keep saying how fun it is, but it really is. You know, it's a joy to be around these guys and watch them work every single day.
Anything else?
Thank you, guys.
All right.